When the show solved the superhero problem, it's by nowhere to land. Let's get on to it. Let's get on to it. Oh, let's be talking about Ben 10. Yes, sir. I like that show.
Ben 10 was originally pitched in 60 seconds.
Okay.
That's right, Ben 10 exists because of a pitch that was done in a minute. Which maybe makes it all the more impressive that somehow, I think the show has managed to do something that so few shows have done. I can literally only think of one other show off the top of my head. And even still, I think that the original Ben 10 series, Classic Ben 10, is maybe the best example of how to build a superhero from nothing. Better yet, how to build an original hero and show the right way. And it all comes down to one very simple thing. Oh, and toys. Maybe the only example where that's not a negative word for being a big part of a show's existence. However, it started a little weirdly.
And our next contestant is... Ben Tennyson!
Oh, nah, ain't no way, bro. Yeah, bro, that would have low-key scared me. I ain't gonna keep imagine you watching the TV and he said, you know what, who's gonna be the next guest? And he pop up to your house and say your name right behind you. No, that's low-key scary.
I wasn't kidding. When Ben 10 was first pitched, it was one of 20 ideas that were each pitched for just a single minute by Man of Action, a group of comic book vets who had written on Spider-Man, Deadpool, X-Men.
Damn.
Yeah, they had experience. A show about a red-headed boy who would use his Mega What to transform into...
Oh, Ben was supposed to have red hair? Why they change his hair?
Things like Plant Guy. Ben 10, as you can probably tell, was almost very different. Those were all original pitch ideas, but Cartoon Network picked up the show anyway after 3 years of work on the concept. And then, Ben 10 would build a formula that I haven't seen replicated since. It starts, ironically, by being the opposite of Spider-Man.
You heard the one about great power coming with great responsibility?
Actually, not just Spider-Man. A lot of comic heroes are defined by their reality and their mission often reduced to it. Their identity. Spider-Man has responsibility, Superman is defined by his morality, Reed Richards by logic, and so on. Ben 10 starts by building a hero that is the exact opposite. Ben isn't defined by a single identity at all, which could be a disaster, by the way. It could spiral the show out of control because instead, he's kind of defined by variety. There's always the, how would Spider-Man solve this problem? Or how would Batman in prep time? You know the conversations, but Ben is a show about a hero who solved every problem by deciding what kind of hero he should be that day. Which makes the show and Ben...
Out of all the superheroes that Ben, out of all the suits, which one is y'all favorite one? I low-key like the one that he can multiply. I like that one. I like the one, the speed one, and I like the crystal one, and I like the flaming, the hot one. And then there was the another one too that he could, the orange one. I like that one too.
And as a hero, significantly easier to attach yourself to. Ben ends up feeling very human as a hero because one, he is, but two, the way he approaches each day is the same way that you do. His mood, his personal problems, his family, it all changes the literal kind of hero he chooses to be in the moment. And this directly manifests itself in the aliens and the Omnitrix. Batman is always Batman, just like Spidey is always Spidey, so their problems and lives dictate the kind of Batman they'll be that day and the kind of Spidey. Ben instead is deciding if he'll be Batman or if he'll be Spider-Man, so to speak. Which, by the way, perfectly expresses the shifting feeling of identity you have growing up, and the feeling and confusion of who you are day to day at that age, or honestly, really any age. This leaves more room for growth. That's gonna be important. And this only works because when Ben is just Ben and not using the Omnitrix, he continues to be a representation of the reality of youth. He's a great character. When building a superhero, you don't want what's under the cape to be perfect. Ben is really not. But that's not what matters. What Man of Action did with Ben is not typically what you do with superheroes. Peter has Uncle Ben here for For instance, partially to allow his guilt to help fuel him. Clark, meanwhile, is built on restraint, for instance. Ben is cocky and immature and impulsive, and that's what makes him great. He's the
Right, and that's why he got a what's it called? His grandpa to help him out with his cocky and airiness and all that other stuff.
perfect personality to give something like the Omnitrix 2. What would a kid actually do with all this power?
Facts.
And then Ben does that. He shows off, he fails, he messes up constantly, he goes for cool instead of taking the smarter path. The same thing you or I would probably do. So you've built a hero where growth actually isn't the assumed outcome, and sometimes neither is success. That's great writing, no matter the medium. In the very first episode, Ben nearly takes out an entire forest and all the life in it, and for a good portion of it, he thinks it's cool.
Oh yeah.
Ben, as a protag, shows his audience that growing up and being the best you is ugly and messy and alien. But also that you can literally be what you want to be every day. You have a choice.
And you can really relate off what he is. Like, you know, this show came out when I was like 10 years old, and I low-key kind of related to Ben sometimes, you know, changing powers. Like, you know, it's like having a different type of moods and stuff like that, and during your lifestyle. And like, if you want to put it like that, then I mean, I put it like that. That's how I thought. Well, you know, every like Ben is like his traits of his character and stuff like that. So yeah.
And that particular messaging being done well is really rare in media. But none of this is what makes Ben particularly super. No, instead it's a thing that probably got the show greenlit.
Oh, that's a
You
cool
know what
puppet.
probably excited Cartoon Network about the Ben 10 pitch? 10 different action figures, a clothing accessory that everyone watching the show would want, toys.
You have the power to create your own Omnitrix with the new
I think my cousin had this. My cousin had this before. I think I gotta call him and ask him that he ever had a Ben 10 watch. Cause he was a heavy big head of Ben 10. That was his low key favorite character.
Omnitrix creator.
Yet, I think the toyetic design of the show actually made it better. It's probably the only time I'll ever say that, by the way. But first I want to talk about the Omnitrix just for context. I truly believe that this little weird green device is almost the perfect power system. It does three things that make Ben work as a hero really, really well. One, it's a built-in limiter that helps, at least for a while, solve the OP hero problem. It has time limits, there's a random element to it, it might just misfire, so Ben's never really in full control of his powers, which, by the way, is also why something like Venom works. Ben has to work with his power like a partnership, symbiotically. Two, it gives everything built-in
Yeah,
stakes.
like
Fights have
how Spider-Man on the game had to get used to with Venom and stuff like that at one point in time before you know, he realized the Venom was taking over him and stuff like that. The symbiote was taking over his how the way he act and stuff like that. And you could tell how the way he was talking to Mary Jane and Miles on the game and stuff like that. That the symbiote was actually taking over him. Like Venom was low key taking over him. So yeah.
have more tension because the Omnitrix might spit out the wrong alien, or he might time out. Most heroes don't have that battle with their powers that gives fights that tension. It's not always necessary for every hero, but it works here. In 3, it kinda gamifies narrative. So the show always runs on strategy and trial and error. It feels like a video game loadout system or puzzle solving. That's a really unique element. So the Omnitrix creates a superhero narrative that's not just grounded in limitations, but makes it feel like you could probably use it better, which is also unique. Your personality would change how these fights go. That's what all great superpowers do, but I'd argue the Omnitrix does this even better than a lot of very popular heroes. This always keeps the emphasis on Ben's personality, on his growth. By becoming an organic part of Ben's personality, the good and the bad. And this is the same way you as a viewer would see the Omnitrix as well. How you grow, how you see these things would change how you use it. Growth is front and center. But the toys.
Get ready to use your Ben 10 alien powers.
Is the Omnitrix
I know commercials used to play every single time before a Ben 10 episode used to come out. Did we have it? Me and my brother had a toy.
front and
Hold
center.
on, let me see what
But the
toys.
toys.
Get ready.
Oh, I think I had one of these toys before. I had to have one of these toys. I think I had the McDonald's. McDonald's had it before. It was the only one that I got was the forearms dude. That was the one I got. And my brother got the speed dude. That's what the only one that I got. I remember McDonald's was selling it at one point.
To use your Ben 10 alien powers.
Is the Omnitrix a sick toy? Absolutely. But the entire show obviously exists due to it being highly mergeable. Toyetic, by
Yeah.
the way, is a real term that dates back to Star Wars that is used to describe a franchise or media's suitability for merchandising or toys. So something toyetically designed is something that is designed, at least in part, with merchandising in mind, which is probably part of the reason we get such
I watched this Transformer back in second grade. The movie. One of the dudes, I forgot, one of the dudes had died in that movie, bro. And I'm surprised they showed us the dude died in that scene. That was kind of crazy.
distinct aliens, clear and singular in their powers, mostly easily identifiable, easily action figured.
That's
Which
my
I will
favorite one
point
right
out
there.
could in some ways lead to later complaints of samey aliens. But for most of classic Ben 10 as a result, you get very memorable characters, animation design that makes the action readable. It's the same philosophy that went into TMNT or Power Rangers. So if Ben 10 was picked up by Cartoon
Yeah,
Network
I
and
had some Ninja Turtle ones. Ninja Turtles, what's it called? Action figures. We only had Mikey and Donnie. I always wanted Raph and Leo, and I never got the chance to get Raph and Leo. But yeah, I like the Ninja Turtles. I remember one point my mama bought us some bed sheets for like Ninja Turtles. This when I was young though. I was like 6-7 years old or something like that. Ninja Turtles. I think 6-7 years old or 8 or 9. It was one of those age type of group, bro. Whenever the Ninja Turtles had came on in Nickelodeon and we were watching it.
to sell toys. For once, it's probably not a negative. It might have helped drive the philosophy that makes these aliens so distinct. That makes the Omnitrix.
Yep, I remember these toys. Yep, this is what my brother had right here. I had this one, and I think my cousin he had 3 of them. No, I mean 4. Yeah, he had about 4. He had this one, this one, this one, this one, and I think like one of my friends that I used to go to school with, he had this one. I remember we had brought the toys to school one time, bro, and my friend had this one. I was like, oh, that's clean. Like I had this one though. I remember that. But I ain't never see no one popped out with this one, this one, this one. This was hard to get one of these, and low key, it was like rare to get this one or this one too. Now, like usually the ones you'll usually get, I ain't gonna hold you. You get this one, Ben, Speedster, maybe him is a chance, and it was low key kind of hard to get him too, low key. But usually you'll get and sometimes the fire. It just depends.
So cool. That toyeticness, again, is layered right into the story logic. And that finally brings me to what I think is the most overlooked part of building a new hero. The structure you put them in. Ben Tennyson exists in a show that at its start had a pretty unique narrative premise. Road trip monster of the week. Ben grew as a hero each episode in a new setting, new threats, new opportunities to be a new Ben. The road trip idea grounded Ben in an environment that facilitates maturing. Seeing more of the world, expanding your horizons, which sounds cliche, but ironically, very few heroes leave their metropolis or Gotham or New York all that frequently. And this works in tandem with allowing Ben's own powers to change how he sees the world episode to episode. Not in one way, by the way, but in a new way for almost every alien, which doesn't just keep Ben growing, it keeps the show fresh because we essentially get kind of new little subgenres each episode. Heat Blast, we get classic elemental super narrative. XLR8, we get speedster stories. Ghost Freak, we dip into horror. So Ben 10 can keep one character, Ben Tennyson, the Omnitrix, and still be sci-fi, horror, comedy, So what Ben 10 does ultimately is put its hero in a narrative position where when it does finally decide to world build, to serialize a bit, to mature, it's because the character has experienced so much, gone so many places, seen so many things, been so many things, that the growth is natural, required almost, true organic storytelling, instead of what a lot of shows and hero stories do, which is lean too hard, too fast into serializing, or growing its hero up by manufacturing what I sometimes call maturity events. You can, just like growing up in real life, miss the changes happening to Ben because heroes, just like people, are changed by the world just as much as it's changed by them. And that takes...
I hate how they was trying to relate, bro. It was so many Ben 10s. This is the best one. I ain't lying to you. This one and the one he was like a teenager. That's the best two ones. Now when they were trying to reboot him and bring him back to a kid, bro, it was good. It was alright. I mean, it was alright to sit down and watch, but I ain't liked it like that though. Now when I go back and watch it, maybe sometimes, I don't know. That'd probably be something like I have like TikTok scrolling and I'll look up and watch a few scenes and stuff like that.
Ben is a shining example of growing your character by making it clear that they should be growing instead of just telling the audience they have. That's Ben 10's superpower. And if it sounds so simple, it's because on the surface it is, but yet...
I hate how Multiverse did not have, bro, they did not put Ben 10 in the game, bro. But we got, what's it called? What's that dude name? If you say his name 3 times, not Boogie, man. Oh, yeah. I watched the movie of him. It's a haunted house. It was like a house that's hunted and stuff like that. What is it, that man name? I gotta remember. It come up to my mind.
So few shows get it right like Ben 10.
This is gonna be the worst vacation ever. I might as well have gone to summer school.
Ben 10 is so interesting because today, depending on when you started watching it, it could be a totally different show.
This was the best Ben 10s. Hands down, this was the best Ben 10s. Now that other one, when Cartoon Network was trying to reboot it, they should have never did this. They should have just let this play right here. I'm not gonna hold you.
Than what comes to mind when someone else hears the word Omnitrix. And to its credit, it has evolved and in some ways regressed over time. To this day, it is still, though, a beacon to...
Beetlejuice, that's the dude name. Beetlejuice. Yeah, Beetlejuice. I wish they would have put Ben 10 over Beetlejuice. But nah, I ain't lying to. Beetlejuice did come in clutch, though, with Samurai Jack. But they should have had... Oh, no, they should have had Powerpuff and Ben 10 come together. That's what they should have did. And then they should have put Courage in the game, too. I ain't lying to you. If I was the director of Multiverse, I would have had a lot of characters on there. Especially, I'm starting off nice and high. Putting regular show, Gumball. I'm putting Gumball, Darwin, the mom in there at its finest. I'm putting her on there. I'm putting freaking all the freaking Ben 10 powers. You gotta click the back of the buttons before you start which one you want to play. Or you can switch. You can switch it with the you got a whole X or something like that. Or whole square if you're playing PlayStation.
An extent of what a show built around an incredibly simple idea can become. Ben 10, through the Omnitrix, through its protagonist, through its narrative foundation, through its treatment of identity, is a really interesting example of modern original superhero building, of how to grow your character, and how important it is to do so in a way your audience can understand, participate in, and connect with, can grow with, and doing it all the right way. Classic Ben 10 still works, and more shows and superheroes could probably stand to learn from Benjamin Kirby Tennyson.
Trust me, you're gonna want to go Ben. Thanks for making me realize that.
Alright. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Follow on social media, pop on the screen. If y'all want more videos like this, just comment down below. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.